What's up, guys? Coach Robbins here. Back again with the third installment of the Running Back Vital Few. I know it's been a little while, but I want to briefly talk to you guys a little bit about catching the football from the running back position. So a little receiving. As we all know, the game is evolving, and running backs are a huge part of the passing game, not just from a blocking standpoint, but also actually catching the ball out of the backfield. So what I often like to tell our guys is, we want to present ourselves as a matchup nightmare. Okay, so oftentimes we're going to be facing second and third level guys, linebacker, safety, nickel, cornerback type dudes. So we want to make sure we're a viable option when those situations come about. And on the flip side of things, if we are a viable option out of the backfield and the opposing defense may not be able to cover us with a traditional backer type body, and they may have to bring a safety in or even a corner type of player in, that puts them at the disadvantage from a run game standpoint. And so having a running back with those type of abilities, puts us in a better situation and better our chances of winning the football game. So as a running back, we want to be efficient from all angles, whether we're running a vertical route, flat route, an angle route, etc. We want to make sure we're effective from all angles. So let's just get right into it. So some of the drills we work on, we'll just cover a couple different ones, but here's our 4-point catch drill. Sometimes we'll operate this drill in pre-practice. Sometimes it'll be a part of our indie, or if we have some downtime during a special teams period. So we're just kind of slow trotting through, really working, catching the ball on different shoulders, over different shoulders, seeing the ball in our hands and through the tuck. All right, just working different angles. So I'll give them a bad ball at times. Sorry about that. I'll give them a couple different bad balls, low, kind of outside their frame, just to get them accustomed to catching the ball. Oftentimes, most running backs aren't really accustomed to catching the ball on a regular basis, especially if they play it at a certain high school. And a lot of times at the college level, these guys were some of the better players on their teams, right? It was just, hey, here's the ball and go. So not only from a protection standpoint, but even from just catching the football and understanding route concepts, they're not often too familiar with. So this kind of gets them accustomed to the importance and upping their skill level and catching the football. Right here, we're just working. We often run a lot of out routes, trying to operate in space against a linebacker. So we're just literally working the top of the route on our out route. And so one of the coaching points I often like to mention is, as we're coming out of our break, we want to sprint laterally. A lot of guys tend to coast out of their breaks, so we literally want to sprint out of our break because oftentimes defenders are, whether it's a linebacker or DB type of guy, they're converging on us once they see us break out. And as we're trying to coast across laterally, these guys are literally in a full-on sprint. They're closing the gap, and we want to keep the spacing in between us and the defender pretty wide. So we're working the top of the route, sprinting out our break, and then often we'll incorporate some sort of running back weapon, whether it's working the stiff arm, working a spin, a juke, or using our shoulder pads, or what we call, or knifing the defender and being violent with the shoulder ram and lowering our shoulder on the defender. So we're turning tight shoulder, coming out of our break, and looking to make a quality football play. So getting into a little game film, oftentimes, protection is oftentimes in most offenses, first and foremost. Often the backs are, taught to check release. And then sometimes plays break down. So here's a clip example of, a back doing what we're taught to do, catching the ball. And then at that point, it's no different than having the ball handed to us. Once we get an opportunity to get in space, it's time to make things happen. Here from the tight copy, right? Here back, there was a breakdown between the guard and the line and the running back. Sorry, back should have stayed on the defender and blocked, opposed to leaking out. But that's football. Things break down, and so Fortunately for us, we had a quarterback who can operate in space and, be a difficult matchup for the defense. So he's able to extend his plays with his legs, find an open receiver, which was our running back. And from that point on, we're able to operate effectively in space, move the chains, and live the play the next day. And so when we talked about catching from all angles, it's not just, flat routes, which we're more than likely accustomed to doing, and running an out routes. We may have to sometimes run a wheel route and catch the ball downfield. So sometimes our guys will work with the quarterbacks and working their easy ups just to get their eyes and their body accustomed to catching a deep ball as if they were a natural receiver. And that situation will often happen. If we can find a matchup plus for us on offense, we'll definitely go ahead and exploit that, send it back on a wheel route, and try to put the offense in a more effective position to be successful. Looking at it here from the tight, right? Not much of a move, but again, it's just flat out speed. My guy's faster than yours. There's space. Here's an opportunity to catch the ball. Touchdown for the Bulldogs. And so in practice, we'll simulate some of these situations, one-on-ones against the linebackers, which is great for both parties. Backers operating in space, running backs working, trying to press the backer vertically, then to cut out, working their different angles against live competition is always great. Here we go right here. This particular rep, I would have definitely loved for this running back to press him just a little more vertically to get the defender thinking we're going vertical, break down, and then break flat. You see, as he's coming out, he's sort of widening, and the backer is slower, kind of closing the space on this, which is giving him a slight advantage. All right, and it helps us operate more with space. Once he catches his ball, it's a tight window and not much to do, not much room to work with once we turn just tight shoulder and gets up the field towards the sideline. Here we are again, great job. Not allowing this defender to get hands on him. Similar to receivers and tight ends on their release, we can do this as well, where we can swipe hands, we can club, do all those different things. All right, get this linebacker in a chase position. I would have liked this guy to just catch the ball, turn a tight shoulder, and just get up the field right now. I get it, what he was trying to do, but just from a teaching standpoint, I would have definitely loved for him to just ball, tight shoulder, and we're up the field and running.